I'm going to ask you guys to fire out what's being human to you. What would you say being human is? Huh? Flawed. Okay, anything else? Pardon? Feeling emotions. Creative. What do we say when we've made a mistake? I'm only human. Don't we? When we've made a mistake, we're only human. So we diss ourselves most of the time. What if a long, long time ago we actually weren't like this and something changed? And what if we're actually here to actually return to that space? Actually return to a space where human was actually happy, calm, relaxed and centred and full of joy and not in war. Because this is when I've tuned in with my non-physical beings and all the stuff that I do, humanity was actually peaceful. And something happened along the way we can talk about in religion, you know, Lucifer fell down and started causing havoc, or, you know, the age of Kali, or the age of iron that we're in right now. There's all sorts of fundamental beliefs around what's happened, but I actually believe that we're actually going to start moving into real humanity again. And that is actually being at peace, because we think about humanity being, we war, we argue, or if we make a mistake, we're only human. And we've actually got to stop that. You know, there's a whole bunch of belief systems that we do that actually block us from being who we are. So the only way that I feel that we can actually start making that change is accepting our thoughts and our emotions. Okay? Well, what do kids do when they're angry? Chuck a tantrum. Do they ever feel guilty about chucking that tantrum? Do they ever think, oh, I shouldn't have done that, that would have hurt my mum's feelings? Do they? No, they don't. They just move on and they're happy. And then they're grumpy, then they're sad. They accept it and they don't actually feel bad for doing something in the past. Does that make sense? Now, most people would believe that kids are the closest connection to God or all that is. They see all things a little bit differently, don't they? So what if we actually start accepting our emotions and accepting our thoughts as they are? And what if a lot of our thoughts and emotions are not ours? Have you ever thought about that? There's a lovely science called epigenetics, and it explains this very fact, that most of our processing that we do starts womb to 6, we're non-conscious, we just collect everything, and then we just start running those emotions. Okay? And they've found this through science, that you can actually change your DNA via changing what you put in your mouth, the environment that you're in, and your beliefs. So this is really, really exciting when you think about something like breast cancer, when science says that if it runs in the family, you're likely to get it, right? But what if it's not true? What if your emotional state actually can change your DNA so you don't have to have it? Would that be empowering? It would be pretty empowering, wouldn't it? And that would change the face of our planet completely, because then we'd actually be responsible for our own disease. So no one's done it, it's just happened. So what can we do? We can change the energy via believing that we can do something different. And now, most people, what's the biggest fear? Most people are fearful of change, right? You know, I see a lot of people who are fearful of change, and that's why they don't stick the changes that I help them with in my room. So what if people could actually stick those changes and actually believe that they could change? They could fix polio, they could fix cancer, they could fix all of these things. And there's so many miraculous stories around these things occurring, and I've seen them happen in my room. So it's all about understanding that your collective consciousness inside can change. Inside, so you can make a different reality outside. Okay, and I've watched people who have, like painters, builders, all these sorts of big burly people jump on my table and they cry, males. And it's really, really interesting. They just have an acceptance, they accept that. They understand that they can change it. Their biology changes and their body changes. It's pretty amazing to watch. I mean, I've been blown over by some of the things that have happened in my room, and also some of the things that haven't, and the choices that people make around not changing. So I've asked some people, would you rather die than change? And they've said yes. I'm like, okay, no problem. That's okay. If that's a choice, that's totally fine for me. So what do people do when they have disease? They try and remove it. Does that work? Does it? No, it's actually removing something of yourself. You can't remove something that's yours. What if you accept it? What does it do? It doesn't go away, it restructures. Okay? It restructures. And that's the difference. It can't go away because it's you. Right? But it can restructure into something new, something different. Something much more powerful than we can ever think of and be. And that creates that lovely sense of personal empowerment. And one of the things that a client told me just last week is she found this sense of peace, and I took her through it. I took her through it a month before. She'd come and this is the second time she'd come and saw me. And I said, okay, we're just going to accept this emotion right now. 10 seconds she's in this really lovely place. And I asked her higher self to explain some things, because I get a lot of lovely gifted information from my clients. All my clients are so amazing to watch, and they teach me so much. And what she said was, if we were purely responsible, we would have no one to blame. Wouldn't that be interesting? We'd have no one to blame for our sickness. And then we could take pure, conscious approaches to actually getting well. So when I work on my table, I never go, holy shit, I did really good today. I actually am blown away, and I'm in awe of every person that has made a fantastic choice to change themselves. So I'm just gobsmacked. I've got a really good job, you know, and I've been fascinated by this for such a long time. But if we just go into that pure acceptance.